I would like to talk to you tonight about the person of the disciple maker. So I would like to talk to you about the desire of my heart, how I would like to be, how I should be, and what I dream for every disciple maker. And I'm going to use three words. I hope that it will be possible to see it um, on your screens. Um, and I'm first just going to highlight the three words. It's integrity, transparency, and authenticity. Three very big words, but three words I would like to share with you a few thoughts about. I would like to start with integrity. Jesus said in Matthew chapter 5, your yes should be yes, and your no should be no. Very early in his relationship with his disciples, he put this on the table. And it's nothing else than integrity. That's the one thing, if we don't have it, we don't have a ministry. We can have a show, but we don't have a ministry if we don't have integrity. And very often it is exactly at this point that the enemy will attack you and me. That means really being honest with yourself, first of all, with God, and with those that you are discipling. That lays the foundation. It becomes part of your character as you grow into becoming more and more like Christ. Because he was the prime example of having integrity. My wife always says, integrity is when you do the right thing when nobody is watching. And I want you to understand it. Integrity is doing the right thing when nobody is watching. Not taking any shortcuts on honesty and integrity builds a solid foundation in a relationship with people because they know what you say is true. This is the first one. The other two fit together, very often overlapping with the second one, transparency. Transparency is like being like a window that people can look into you, into your heart. It's opening up your heart so that people can see, so that they can see what God is doing there. There's no better way of discipling than opening up your heart to show the disciple how the Lord is dealing with you. It can be very painful. It can be a big challenge doing that. But we cannot really disciple without transparency because disciples learn from us. Not first of all through what we say, but by seeing how the message that we bring transforms us first. Transparency means, in the words of Paul, when he said, follow me as I am following Christ. Imitate me as I am imitating Christ. It means that I become a model. of how the Lord deals with my success and my mistakes. The moments of glory in my life, but the sin in my life as well. There's no better place to learn that from than from the person who is guiding you through the process of being discipled. Earlier in the week, I was part of a meeting with someone who spoke into my life many years ago, helped form some of the ways in which I think about life, about God, about discipling. A spiritual leader. And it was supposed to be an open discussion. And he began sharing about the sin in his life and how God is dealing with it and how he is growing with it. It was embarrassing. It was painful. There were tears flowing down his face. It touched us who were on a Google Meet exactly like this as well. It was humiliating. But very often that is the only way in which we can really disciple others, by opening up our lives, opening up our hearts. And that brings me to the third one, authenticity. Because if I open up my heart, it means I get to the point where I don't wear a mask anymore, where I don't project the ideal self towards others so that they only see what I want them to see. Then, when I live with authenticity, it means I am where I really am. It sort of echoes what God said about himself, introducing himself to Moses, isn't it? It echoes every time when Jesus said the words, I am. It is living outward exactly what is inward, not playing a role, not acting. And that's the most difficult one of the three, because we want people to think that we are spiritual, that we are superheroes, that we are big men of God, that we don't fall for the same silly temptations that Satan come to them, that we don't do that, that we are perfect. That's what we want to do. That's what the flesh craves. That's what the flesh wants, is us projecting a false image, showing a false picture to everyone around us. And if you're in ministry, this one is the most difficult one to avoid. So these are the three things. It's actually the same picture, just from three different angles: integrity, transparency, authenticity. We see all of this in all the great figures of faith that we read in the Bible, but also know through history. But even more, we see it in the example and the model in the person of Jesus himself. And as we follow him, this is the process through which he shapes us so that he can shape through our ministry other people's lives as well. So that's what I wanted to share with you. Let your yes be yes. Open your heart so that others can see, and live in such a way, a real way with Him, that you don't play a role, you don't act like an actor on a stage, but it is the real you talking, speaking, ministering, preaching. That's the challenge. It's painful, it's difficult, there's a lot of humiliation very often, but also a lot of glory.